Kateesha, Tom Hitchcock, how are you?
I'm really good, thanks, Tom. How are you?
Not too bad. I hear you're cyclone dodging.
Yes, at the moment it's just around the corner.
They're expecting it to be quite a big one, aren't they? I don't know. Is it Cyclone Arthur?
Alfie, I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I was probably a little bit naive to it and didn't think it was going to be too bad until yesterday. And then my neighbors started like taking pergolas down and they've helped me like rearrange all of the outside. And I'm like, okay, it's actually a lot more serious than what I thought it was. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the next couple of days goes.
Yeah, fingers and toes crossed for you. Hopefully the internet doesn't drop out in the middle of this as well. But at least we know
Yes,
what it is if it does happen.
exactly.
Anyway, as a British trait of mine, talking about the weather, yeah, we're here to hear about yourself and your story, Katisha. The floor is yours. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, perfect. So, I guess I grew up in North Brisbane and came to the Gold Coast about 4 years ago. I had a bit of an interesting career pathway where I did the typical left school, went to uni, got a business degree, and then ended up controlling dump trucks in the mines. So, sort of took a bit of like a 180, I guess, on what I'd studied at uni. Did that for a year. Probably wasn't the greatest experience there, to put it lightly. So I left that, and I went out on my own and tried a couple of businesses. Some of them failed. They just didn't pan out. But from that, I took a lot of lessons and then started my agency, which has been incredibly successful, called the Being Own Academy. So I am a personal branding LinkedIn expert, and I've been on the platform for over 5 years. I've got a community of over 10,000 and, yeah, get to work in a pretty cool space.
Yeah, like it. Okay. All right. So let's start near the beginning then. Obviously, when you were doing your business degree, what was your plans when you were doing that? What made you go, right, this is the degree for me and this is how I'm going to use it?
Yeah, interesting. Hey, so it was a bit of a mouthful, but my business degree, it was a Bachelor of Business, and I majored in tourism, leisure, and events and minored in HR management. So I guess from memory at the time, I think I was thinking I'd have a career maybe in events and go down that pathway because I'd been working in events since I was 14. Funnily enough, have actually done a lot of events as a owner over the last couple of years. So that I think that was probably my pathway. I thought I'd be, maybe some big rig event planner or, on cruise ships, like running events or something like that. And I got to the end of my degree and to be honest with you, I was just in this uni debt and thought I just need to apply for whatever job I can to be earning good money. And I happened to land a pretty big role with the biggest mining company in Australia.
And what was you doing for them?
So it was in the operations and logistics team controlling dump trucks in the mine. So I was actually the youngest one that they ever employed to like fill that role. Because as you can imagine, it was an incredibly stressful role. So I was in charge of, um, I guess, managing a fleet of dump trucks on a mine site, but then also responsible for emergencies. So if we had like a truck crash or a medical incident or something on the site, it was my responsibility to shut the whole mine site down and coordinate emergency response. So as you can imagine, the pressure was pretty full on, and it was shift work. It was hard hours. So it ended up taking a toll very quickly.
So it was the stress related to the role itself, what called an end for that type of career.
Yeah, so it was probably a combination of a few things. I guess the department itself was just not run very well, and we didn't have a great relationship with site, which was disappointing. I had a great relationship with my guys on site because I was good at what I did, and they knew they were all getting their lunch breaks on time, and I was going to be looking after them. So, but yeah, unfortunately, I think just from like a much higher senior level within the department, it was just run really poorly, and we caught the brunt of it. I actually worked with an amazing crew of people, but we were just always short staffed. And it was funny. I remember like I got quite physically sick when I was there. So I got glandular fever twice. I got tonsillitis 8 times that year. And I distinctly remember a 6 week period where I wasn't sick. And it was this only 6 weeks we had enough staff on, which just shows you like how crazy like that correlates to when you're understaffed, like how stressed and sick you can get. So yeah, so I did that for a year, and I honestly hit rock bottom. It was, I would say, the hardest year of my life, to put it, I guess, kind of lightly. And yeah, I got to the end of the year and was very, very sick, waiting to have surgery. There were lots of things going on behind the scenes, and I guess one of my best work pals at the time, he walked out like 3 o'clock one morning on night shift, and I was like, I just can't do this anymore. And when he left, I sort of thought, well, once he's gone, I'm out of here. um, because he was my buddy. And yeah, and then I left the following month. So, and then had surgery a week later.
There we are. Okay, all right. So these things are there to to test us and to help us
So
work out what it is we're gonna do. So you left there after your buddy left at 3 a.m. You left a short while after, had your operation. Okay. At that point, then, did you know what you wanted to do?
I always knew I wanted to be a business owner. Like even growing up as a young child, I just knew that I was going to be a business owner. Um, I probably was quite scared to, because I was quite young at the time. So at this stage, I think I was either 20 or 21 by the time I'd left that role. So I was still very young. And then COVID hit. Yeah, so it must have been so I left my role in January, had surgery, and then COVID hit February, March. And I didn't have a job lined up. So I just kind of like left because literally could not stay another day longer. So I just took off. And I think it was just in that moment I was having a coffee with a girlfriend, and I said to her, "Oh, I'd really love to work with workplaces and help them with like their communication culture, like after what I've been through." And she just said, "Well, why don't you do it? Like you don't have a job. Like what have you got to lose?" And it was just that was quite a pivotal, I guess, conversation for me. And then yeah, and then a couple months later, once I was all healed and feeling a lot better health wise, I ended up going out on my own.
Yeah, nice. Okay, all right. So you can see the catalyst of events that got you to where you are. So tell us about your business. Tell us, what it does, how it does it, what its USP is.
Yeah, yeah, of course. So the business that I've got at the moment, it's called the B Note Academy. So essentially, it's an agency that helps people to grow their personal brand on LinkedIn and leverage that for either generating leads and new clients, could be speaking engagements, podcasts, whatever it may be. But essentially helping them to, yeah, really leverage their brand and the platform, for whatever their end destination or goal is.
Okay, all right. And how long have you been doing that for?
I've been doing it for about 2.5 years now.
Okay, so it's going well. What's your typical customer look like?
That's a good question. So I've worked with over 30 different industries. I guess a typical customer for me falls into a couple buckets. So it's either somebody who's working a corporate 9 to 5 job, absolutely hating life, wanting to start their own business. So something that I massively enjoy about what I do is rescuing people from 9 to 5 and helping them to leverage their brand to grow their business and get full time into that. So that would be one. The other is just business owners with existing businesses. They may have smaller businesses. They may have businesses turning over millions of dollars. It just really depends. And then I also work with sales professionals, but it's a particular type in the sense that they have to be really dedicated, I guess, to like their career growth and generating leads off the back of their brand. So I'm very selective about who I bring on when it comes to sales professionals, but I've worked with some absolute weapons that, yeah, that have killed it on the platform.
I find LinkedIn's fascinating because you can't afford not to be there, and you can't afford to not to be there well. Okay.
Yes.
We do lots of LinkedIn training as well, which would be different to yours. Um, but what I do find is LinkedIn move the goalpost quite often. So every time there's a new feature, sometimes
Yes.
sometimes it isn't. Sometimes where you find a particular function you're looking for, you can't find it when you're trying to make the example. They do it all the time. Do you find
Yeah,
the same
it's
thing?
funny you say that because I've got a lot of, I guess, like resources and training in my academy. and I'm due to like refilm it because there has been so many changes. And I feel over the last 5 years, I guess LinkedIn compared to the other platforms to me has been quite steady. So there's not been any like wild algorithm changes like there can be with Instagram or Facebook or TikTok even, but definitely in the last 12 to 18 months, I have noticed that there's been a little bit more change than what there usually was for LinkedIn. And even in the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of new features that have come out where I'm like, oh, this is interesting that they're doing that.
Mm. And what would you say for the average listener here who happens to have a LinkedIn profile? They're not too fussed by it, but they've got it. They update it when they change jobs or something. What would you say the common mistakes are that most people make?
Not taking it seriously. To be blunt, I think, and it's funny, I just spoke with CPA Australia last week, and I was expressing to them the way I look at LinkedIn and my personal brand is it's my safety net, and I think everybody should treat it the same. Because the reality is that you are not going to be in one job for the rest of your life. So at some stage, you're going to be looking for a new job, whether that's just due to personal preference, whether it's due to you want to, advance your career. Who knows? Maybe you got made redundant. But I just know that I would rather have a network of people who know what my expertise are. So if something does happen, you've got that network of people to lean on instead of, spending hours and hours on Seek, like hoping and praying and applying for jobs. If you build a brand successful enough, you might not even have to apply for jobs.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
people could headhunt you and, like, you might not even know of a position available, but because people know you're so good at what you do, they could reach out. So, I would say the biggest mistake is people not, taking it seriously. Um, People's profiles as well are pretty atrocious most of the time, to be honest. I've just in the last sort of 12 months, I've done it'd have to be close to 300 profile reviews now, like 300 easily. And out of those 300, I would say maybe 10 were set up well.
mm,
And it's just huge missed opportunity because your LinkedIn profile is your personal website. It's the page that sells you. So if a potential employer or colleague or client or prospect jumps on there and it's making you cringe because there's nothing on there and it's blank or it's got the wrong information, like that's representing you.
yes, yes. I agree with that. So, what would you say the other side of the coin? If you were going to give away one freebie, one big tip that would help them stand out more, to have the LinkedIn profile serve them today,
Yeah.
what would that be?
I would probably say be very can I give you 2? Can I give you
Go
2?
for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess when it comes to your profile, it's be very clear around what it is you do, who you help, and how you help them. So that's the first one, and then the other one would be to be authentic and add some flavor to
Yes.
your profile. Yeah, you gotta keep in mind that you have seconds to keep people's attention long enough to read through it. So be mindful of like how can you make this interesting enough that somebody's gonna take the time and read your about section and scroll through your profile.
Yeah, no, I agree with both of those. Absolutely. But authenticity is well, it's fashionable at the moment. But it
Really.
shouldn't even be fashionable. It should just be the norm. You
It
know,
should
it's
just be the norm, but I think with the rise of AI as well, and people are just lazy by, copy and pasting stuff from ChatGPT onto the platform. It's silly, but just by being you, you're going to stand out from the crowd so much more.
yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more on that. And what's the future hold for you?
Oh, that's a good question. Is in career-wise? Like, that's a big question.
Take it in whichever way you like.
Okay, well, I've just hired, so that's exciting. So I've brought somebody onto the team. I uh, I don't have ambitions to grow a 10, 20, $30 million business. I wanna grow a very profitable business with as little staff as possible, with as great as impact as I can make.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I guess on the horizon for me, it's, just really investing, I guess, in my team and looking after my clients, making sure they're getting great results. I'm building some things in the background as well, and I sell a lot of, products too, so I'm building that out. But no, look, I've invested into a lot of mentors recently as well too. So just working with them to help me scale. And yeah, really, it's just about like I'm in my building wealth era of my life. um, yeah, where I'm starting to look at like assets to buy and to grow my wealth in other ways other than business.
Okay. All right. So if you had the ability to talk to your younger self, say
Yes.
just about to graduate, okay, and you're going to give yourself some advice at that point, knowing what you know now, what would you say to yourself?
I kind of wish I could speak to myself before I went to uni, to be honest.
Well, do you then answer that one is.
And then it would be don't go to uni. It would be either to get a sales job. I am madly passionate about sales, and I truly think it's a skill set we should all learn because ultimately all it is communication. So I would say to go and either follow somebody in a senior sales role and develop your sales skills, or to just start a business straight away. Like I really wish I started business earlier. Like I was 21 when I did, and I don't live life with regrets, but if I was to do it all over again, I wouldn't go to uni. I would have started as soon as I was 16, 17, 18.
So with that in mind, I'm just curious, do you not think the experiences that you had, especially with the mining, sort of molded the business and the situation that you're in now?
It absolutely did, but because it was such a it's because it was such a traumatic experience in my life, like, if I lived again, would I wanna go through it? Probably not. And I think because I naturally picked up LinkedIn so quickly, I really feel I could have picked it up at the age of 17 and 18 and killed it then. So, absolutely, like, still very grateful for my journey and, like, the experience and shaping where I am now. But if I had to do it again, no, I should have started earlier in the business.
Okay, all right. Well, I think there's loads of nuggets there for people, and it's going to be useful for pretty much all the listeners. In all fairness, so anybody wants to know a bit more and want to have a conversation with you, can I assume that LinkedIn is the way to contact you?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, definitely add me on LinkedIn and ping me a message. And if you're on my LinkedIn profile as well, and you know that you're that person who's feeling like your profile needs a little bit of love, I do have a free guide on there as well that you can download. So just scroll down to my featured section and you'll find it there. And yeah, that'll help you to get your profile looking all spick and span.
Yeah, love it, brilliant, and don't forget to put the link for that on the comments for this
Perfect.
as well. So, yeah,
Good.
good. Okay. Well, listen, I enjoyed that as a good conversation. Lots of it's interesting to hear your story, but also lots of nuggets for people to take away as well.
Yeah, perfect. No, I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
You're more than welcome, and we cut off before the cyclone came.
Yes, we got there just in time.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot for your time,
No
Tisha.
worries. Thanks, Tom.
Hello again, it is I am Mr. Purple. Thanks again for watching this video. If you like my videos, if you like what we try to do here, please subscribe if you haven't done it already. The other thing that's very popular right now is the t-shirts, the Mr. Purple t-shirts. There's lots of people wearing these at the moment. You can grab yours on our website, copying this link below. So once again, thanks for listening. We love your feedback. Engage with us and speak soon.